Welcome to the On-Site Solutions Physical Therapy Employee Spotlight. I'm your host, Steve Olvers, and each month we're going to be highlighting one of our amazing physical therapists. This month we have our special guest, Kim Robinson. How you doing, Kim?
I'm good. Hello.
So thank you for being on the show. We're going to take some time to ask you a few questions and let our viewers get to know you a little bit better. What I'd like to start off with is, how did you get into physical therapy? What's your story there?
It's not overly exciting. I think there was somebody that came to our high school on career day and was talking about the health field. It was either a physical therapist or occupational therapist. And I was like, oh, well, that sounds interesting. I know I don't want to sit behind a desk or, I knew I wanted to be active. I was an athlete my whole life. And so it just kind of was a seed that got planted. And over time, I just started seeking opportunities to be more involved in physical therapy. I volunteered and shadowed at our local hospital. By the time I went to college, I was really kind of focused my journey on physical therapy. So by the time I got there, I got a physical therapy technician job, and I had that for a few years. So by the time I decided to go to physical therapy school, I had put a lot of time and effort into determining that it was the right career path for me.
Very cool. That's kind of your standard. Get into it. You get somebody that gives you a sample of what it's like, and you just learn more about it. That's cool.
Yeah, I think you either find it that way or you have an entry and you went to physical therapy and saw how fun the environment was. I think that those are like two paths that I think most people will say.
Can you give us a brief education history? Where did you start? Where did you end up?
Sure. I grew up in Kansas, so did all my 0 to 18 years in Kansas. And then I went to undergrad at Doane College, which is just a small liberal arts college here in Nebraska in Crete. And then I went to physical therapy school at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha. So 7 years later.
A lot of our physical therapists here at On-Site Solutions have not had a traditional career trajectory. A lot of our PTs have done hospital work or other on-site work or something along those lines. Can you give us what your career path has been like?
Yeah, so mine is not your typical path either. So immediately after graduating physical therapy school, my husband, who is also a physical therapist, we were married and decided to travel. So if you've heard of travel nursing, it's the same thing. So we were going to give it a year or two and just kind of, see the country a little bit. And we ended up traveling for 11 years. So by the time I started here at On-Site, I'd started 25 different jobs before this. So yes, I saw everything. Worked in hospitals, home health, pain clinics, nursing facilities, mostly outpatient, but same thing. I've done it all and been everywhere.
So of course, On-Site Solutions has got to be your favorite job so far. But outside of On-Site, what was your favorite job?
Favorite job, I would say working at the Rehab Institute of Chicago. It's now the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab. But that really changed the course of my career. I started there as a travel physical therapist, and I was interested in being a neuro PT. I wanted to be the best neuro PT. And where do you go but the Rehab Institute of Chicago? They're ranked worldwide, for 20 years in a row, they get ranked first. So I wanted to go there, and I wanted to be this neurophysical therapist. And to do the orientation period, it's about 3 months just to kind of get into the system. They put me on their outpatient floor, and it completely changed the course of my career. So I fell in love with outpatient all over again. I was learning from what I would consider some of the best physical therapists that I've worked with. They were doing all these cool research-based treatments. I found the McKinsey method there. So it was really hard work, and we had a lot of responsibilities. But I really, when I think about kind of what changed my career path and what really kind of pushed me into where I am today in the outpatient world, it was that job. And that's been, it's been at least 10 years ago.
What other certifications do you have besides your PT?
I don't necessarily have any other certifications. I have a lot of like continuing education focus. So like I mentioned before, the McKinsey method, it's a treatment and assessment toolbox, if you will, or style, where you're assessing mechanical pain. So there's a whole bunch of courses you can take in that, and I've taken nearly all that you can take in that. I just haven't taken the certification exam. And then my other focus has just been on treatment of back pain in other ways. So I enjoy treating neck and back pain. And so I've geared, I guess, my postdoctorate continuing education on the treatment of spine pain.
What are some of the skills or traits that you bring to PT in general, or maybe OSS PT specifically?
I think I just bring my passion for therapy and beyond therapy. I'm really interested in prevention and beyond prevention, even into like root cause of figuring out problems. So I think the people that are attracted to this position feel the same way.
Obviously, you have a lot of passion about being a physical therapist. What is it about being a PT and maybe even OSS PT specific that you find just that rewarding?
Well, OSS PT really allows me to be creative and autonomous. And I know this term gets used a lot, but to think outside the box. So coming from a physical therapy world where you see patients or clients every 30 minutes or even less in some cases, you don't get to build those relationships as much. You still do, but it's kind of quick, and your eye is always on time, and how can I get all of this done and still build rapport? And with this position, I've just been able to kind of pump the brakes a little bit. It's encouraged to build relationships. We're not trying to rush through everything. It really matters what we're doing. So we really focus on the quality of our time spent there. So I think that's just a huge difference coming from nearly every other position I've been at. There's not a big push for your productivity. It really is on building relationships and caring about the people we serve.
So getting specific to On-Site Solutions, what drew you to On-Site Solutions originally?
Well, I found On-Site Solutions through just a job post. So there wasn't a ton of information, but what I could gather was that they were looking for somebody that would think a little differently about physical therapy, that had a more prevention mindset. And then what really drew me in is when I went to the website, I found out it was woman-owned, and it was just inspiring to see a woman create something that allows the rest of us, women, and a lot of us at OSSPT are moms, to continue to do what we love to do in our career, but also have some flexibility in our home life. So I saw that post. It was past my bedtime. I'm an early to bed kind of gal, and I sent my resume that night. I didn't even put a cover letter on. I was too excited to even put that together. I literally just put an email or wrote out an email and sent my resume. I was so excited about it. So I found it because I wasn't unhappy where I was. It was okay. I just knew that I needed to do something different.
Can you describe for the people watching what you do for On-Site, maybe a day in the life of type scenario?
Sure. I work at a large construction site. I'm a leader of a wellness team that includes a wellness coach and a medic and a nurse. I provide a couple different services on site, so it's a really unique situation. Not a lot of construction sites have a physical therapist. So part of what I do is run a clinic. So a couple hours of my day, I treat people that are having your normal aches and pains. So somebody hurts himself over the weekend, they can schedule an appointment with me and come in and see me, just like I see them in a clinic. A big part of my day is walking the construction site and observing people's body mechanics, the positions they're putting their bodies in. I look for repetition. So I'm just out on site and amongst the guys and gals. even the guys like in machinery, I'm looking to see, well, could we provide them different support? And a lot of times when I'm out there, the guys will pull me in and say, hey, this is hurting me, or, could we do this in a different way? So we're problem solving better positions to put their body in while they do their work. The whole goal is that we prevent pain now, but also prevent pain from coming on 5 or 10 years from now when you're doing the same movements over and over. The rest of my day is some programming for wellness. So we have like I said, I'm part of the wellness committee. So we're responsible for figuring out how can we bring health and wellness to a construction site. So we're working on a lot of things right now. We're looking at having access to gyms in town or having healthier food options on site. So, that's another big part of my day, and just the rest of the stuff. So we don't get out of meetings. We still have meetings, but they're really focused and they're important. So we meet with safety people to kind of to collaborate and figure out, is there a way we can make this job site even safer? So I'm doing a lot of different things in a day, but the theme is a little bit of clinic time, observation time, collaboration, and some wellness programming.
What advice would you give a candidate who wants to join our team of superstars?
I would just say come in ready to learn. Although this is fun and exciting, it's also challenging because we are using our brains in a different way. So I would just say, don't be scared of this opportunity. There's a really great team of men and women that you can learn from, and you've got a great support system. So I would say if you're even looking into this kind of position, jump in and you won't regret it.
So enough shop talk.
Okay.
Let's go into some fun questions.
Right. Those weren't fun.
These are going to be the fun ones now.
Okay.
So outside of physical therapy, what are some of your favorite activities?
I love to run. I love to bike. I have a 4-year-old son and I'm married. So before he was born, my husband and I did marathons and triathlons and a whole bunch of endurance events. So we've kind of retired from that, but I still enjoy running. I think it's the best way to see a new city. We still love to travel. So I love to wake up in a new city and go for a run and explore the city. And I love finding delicious coffee shops and some breweries. That's probably the top items on my vacation list. So go for a run, find some coffee, and attend a brewery.
You obviously have traveled quite a bit throughout the U.S. with your travel PT job.
Mm-hmm.
What is one place that you want to go but wasn't able to get to through your previous position?
Yeah, so Alaska is the first thing that pops into my mind. We did get licenses to go up there. We had some connections to get there and just didn't make it. It wasn't the right timing, and we really wanted to go in the summer, and it just we couldn't make the timing work. So Alaska's on my travel list. I'd like to fly there and then drive home. There's a cool drive through Canada that's mapped out pretty well. So when I hit the lottery, I think I'll take a couple months and travel to Alaska and drive home through Canada.
That's interesting. Very cool. One of the other questions that I ask all of our guests on the show here is, what is your personal motto? I really like, I guess it's more of a saying, but I like the saying, mood follows action. I think if you're waiting to feel a certain way to take a step in doing anything, even if it's as simple as going for a run or making a career move, if you're waiting for your mood to change so that feels right, I think it's sometimes the opposite. I think you have to do the action. I think you have to go for that run so that you feel good after. I think you've got to go for that new job or travel to a cool place before you get the benefit of the change in your mood. So Kim, thank you so much for being on and sharing your insights with us today. I really appreciate it. Do you have any parting thoughts for the people that are watching?
I would say if you have any aches and pains, or you're not as mobile as you want to be, please seek physical therapy. Talk to your doctor about it. Talk to your neighbors.
Well,
Yeah.
that just about wraps up our employee spotlight for today. Thank you very much for being here. For those watching, please check back next month. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter for our next employee spotlight. Thanks again, Kim.
Thanks, Steve. Have a good one.
You too.